Kevin, are you here?
I am here. Can you hear me?
I can hear, and I see you. Hey,
Hey,
how are you doing?
doing great. How's everything going?
It's going good. We are so happy that you're joining us today.
Yes, thanks for having me. I wish we were there in person so I could hug everybody and,
I know.
do the Superman pose with everybody, but I guess in a pinch this will have to do, right?
You have like one of my favorite pictures me and you took, so I love that picture.
Yes, me too. So good.
All right, so I think people have joined us already, so I can get started. How is the coronavirus treating you?
Well, I am out in Los Angeles, so it is a bit of a crazy place out here. Not only is it, of course, the COVID, but all the other stuff that has come with it the last few weeks. But things are not too bad, actually. It's been a nice change of pace without being so busy. So it kind of forced me to slow down a little bit, which was a very nice change of pace for me.
Well, that's nice. So have you been able to go anywhere? You just been stuck at home?
A little bit. Right as it's first started, I'm an outdoor adventurer, so I was going out as often as I could. And then they shut down all the parks, shut down all the trails. I was getting ready to take a trip to Yosemite, and I was like, just really going to take advantage of the time being off work. And then they closed everything down, so it was a little bit of a pain. But I did make it for one trip to Florida, my last month for Mother's Day, and then I met my girlfriend's mom, which was sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, we had our first vacation planned together that was going to be in the end of March, and we were going to go to the Dominican Republic, and then no more.
I know.
So
I was surprised I got to travel I'm in Indiana right now with my mom, so I'm visiting her and then my dad. So that's what I'm doing.
Nice. I will be in Indiana in about a week, a little over.
Oh, we just missed each other, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be. Nice. The filming community, the whole filming world is finally starting to come back a little bit. We were supposed to shoot a film. I was supposed to shoot my next film in Los Angeles last month, and then that one got canceled, but they rescheduled it, and so I'm actually going to go to Indianapolis next week to shoot.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's only like my parents are from Huntington, and Indianapolis is only like an hour and a half away. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get back to the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I went in October, and usually this time of year is a good time for it, whether it be for...
Yes, I don't like being in here in the winter, that is for sure. Okay, well, I guess we have some questions for you, and then if anybody else has questions, they can send them in the chat as well. So can you tell us how you got into acting and what gave you the urge to get into show business?
Yeah, I always loved entertaining. I'm the classic middle child. I'm the middle of five, so I got kind of always lost in the shuffle a little bit. I always enjoyed sports and music and any type of performing. I even saw going to the games and playing sports is almost like being out there on a stage in a way. And then I played music all the way throughout high school. I did theater in high school, which was kind of a funny little thing, being a theater kid, but also a jock at the same time. The jocks didn't like that I did theater. The theater kids didn't like I was a jock.
Right.
I was always kind of this hybrid. Like, why can't you be both? Like, I like to perform. Why can't I wear?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Why can't I wear a football uniform and a costume to go rock the stage?
Right.
For, Joseph, the Technicolor Dreamcoat in the same week. Like, why not? So I did that, and then coming out of high school, I did the military for a bit. I was in the Marine Corps, and then right after that, I went right into playing music again. And initially, I thought maybe being a rock star, it's kind of those dreams that you have as a wee young child. Of course, we all want to be a superhero. We all want to be Superman, and then the early teens hit, and then we all want to be a professional athlete, and then everybody wants to be a rock star. Everybody wants to be a movie star. So there's these bigger dreams that are larger than life that you slowly check them off. I had a major knee surgery when I was only 15, so
oh wow,
professional athlete, like that one was gone, and then And then it's kind of, well, I could do a run at music because coming from St. Louis, there's not a whole lot of filming there, but it's a great community for music. And that's where, of course, the blues that come out of St. Louis, just the great, good rock music, even the hip hop era that went out of St. Louis. It was a really good town to be a musician in.
So you do music too?
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. Did not know that.
So
Cool.
our band was kind of big in St. Louis, which is funny. It's like, it's the big fish, small pond thing. We were kind of big in St. Louis. We were played on the local radio. We got to play big concerts, opening up some of my favorite bands. It was really a lot of fun. And the problem with being in a band is that it's something that takes the entire group. I'm not a front man. I'm not a singer-songwriter that could just go out on my own. So whenever I tried to get the band to then, whether it be move to LA, I tried to have us do a really big tour, and it freaked the other guys out. Not everybody's in it for the love of it. They wanted it to be more of a hobby. Where me, I'm come on, let's do this. Let's live our dreams. And I couldn't really get them to do it. And I told them, I said, well, I'm going to go to LA. And they're like, what are you going to do in LA? I said, I'm going to have fun. There's a lot. It's a big world out there. We can do anything that we want. And then while I was still in St. Louis, I started auditioning for different things for theatrical. And I booked a TV show, and we shot a pilot. And if anybody knows how the TV system works, you shoot one episode. If it's good, then they'll order it, and then you have a TV show. If they don't like it for whatever reason, it never gets made. And that was my first time being a part of a pilot that did not get made. And I remember thinking my whole world was going to change. I was, oh man, I'm never going to have to go to work again. I'm going to be on TV.
Can I ask what it was?
What's that?
Can I ask what it was? What was the pilot?
Yeah, so the pilot, it was called Meet the Breckles. It was
Well, that sounds interesting already.
Totally, right? It was a take on the TV show Modern Family. Modern Family had just blown up, so they wanted kind of an interesting family dynamic, and the family that I was in was a super interesting family dynamic. There was interracial couple, there was a gay couple, and this was all for real too. So it was a reality, trying to be the reality version of Modern Family. And we thought it was great, but it never got.
But it didn't get picked up, huh?
It didn't get picked up. I've shot 8 pilots since, and none of them have gotten picked up.
Really?
I literally shot another pilot last weekend while in quarantine, and we did it with a 2-person crew. And hey, it's a numbers game. Well, I hear 1 in 30 gets picked up. So
right.
Hey, actually, hey, I was at the pilot of Supergirl. That one got
picked up, right?
So hey, it's just a matter of trying new things, putting yourself out there, doing as much as you can. But whenever that one didn't get picked up, we were under contract for a while, and then I went, and after that was up, I decided that it was time to move to Los Angeles and really give it the 110%. Like you can't. It's so hard to be a full-time actor in a non-major city. So I just decided that LA was going to be the place for me. I had already stayed in California when I was in the Marine Corps. I was stationed in San Diego and Camp Pendleton, which is a little south of here. And I just fell in love with California. We get spoiled out here. I'm not going to lie. Anybody
right
here before, whether it's summertime, wintertime, it's always beautiful. And I remember talking to people when I was talking about possibly moving out of St. Louis. And I actually had a friend who said he would never live in a place by like a beach because he considers that like vacation. And I was like, well, why not live where people vacation at? Like,
right.
I don't understand. That's like saying that I don't want a job that I enjoy because that would feel like I'm having fun. Who wants to have fun all the time?
Yeah, I live in NC, only a couple hours from the beach, so I love that.
Nice, yeah, it's good. It's a nice getaway. And with California, I have the mountains, the desert, the beach, a little bit of
Yep, same in NC. I know that.
That's it. Yeah, I was stationed out there in Marine Corps as well.
Awesome. You've been all over then, I take it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you had mentioned Supergirl and that you were in the pilot. So how did you get the role of that?
Oh, it's one of those things that with a lot of the bigger things I've ever done, I didn't realize how big they were going to be at the moment, which is a good thing because I may have gotten nervous or psyched myself out. But I got an audition for a Superman type. That's all it said. And And I went to the audition, and as I went to Warner Brothers studio, they make you park across the street whenever you're there to audition, and I walking through security, and I'm standing next to a guy waiting across the street, and I look next to me, and this guy is 3 inches taller than me, buff, looks like he's put into his shirt. He's got the perfect hair, the curl. I was like, oh my God, this guy's Superman. And so we go through, we both check into security, and then they give you a map of where you're going, because the studio lots are so confusing. So they give me a map, and I still don't know where I'm going. They just say you're going to 4. And so I go there, and of course I walk in, and there is 8 guys, just all of them more super than the last. And it was kind of funny because every one of them was wearing a perfect blue shirt. One of them was even wearing an Under Armour shirt that had the Superman logo. Wow, they're real. And I was in a gray shirt. I had 3 auditions that day, so I was like, maybe I should have put on the blue. And it wasn't until I actually used their bathroom that there was a sign over the toilet that said, it was one of those funny ones. I forget exactly what it said, but it said like, you're in Supergirl's bathroom, so please like lift the seat or something like that, or you know, something. I was like, okay, that's Supergirl, and then that was the first time that it started to click, and then we went through the audition process, and then it was they just eliminate people as you go. We went in one at a time, then they came out, and then I think 4 people left, and they took pictures of us. And then Glenn Winters, who did Smallville, he was the one that was kind of in charge, and he took us outside, and he laid on the ground, and he pointed a camera up at us, and he had us do the famous reach, the silhouette. He had us do a couple other things. He had us see how agile we were, just to make sure that we could move, and then they whittled it down to 2 of us, and then it's like sitting there waiting.
Right.
And then they came out, and it was like one of those things where they called my name, and then they brought me over, and they said, "Can you go to a fitting right now?" Like, right now.
Wow.
And in my head, I'm like, I don't know. I got another audition for a I go, yeah, I guess I could do it. And I'm not sure. I'm still not 100% sure what I'm there for. And then so I go to the Warner Brothers. I go to their costuming department, and the gentleman pulls out the piece of paper. And your normal measurements are like 6 measurements on a guy, you know, of course, height, weight, inseam, outseam, sleeve, neck, whatever. But this one was the most detailed I've ever seen. They're measuring from here to there to there to there.
Oh, wow.
100 measurements. And on it, he's got this sheet, which I should have pulled that out, because I am keeping this thing forever, because on it, you see all the dimensions. And at the top, it says name, Kevin, role, Superman. And I was like, oh, like, is this? And I remember asking the guy, like, so is this like a thing? He goes, no, like you're the guy. You're the guy. Like, what do you like? I still had doubts. It didn't feel real. And then of course going to set. I think it was my 3rd day on set, because I shot a lot. Like we did shoot a lot. Everybody knows it's just a silhouette, but actually there was glimpses and flashes all the way throughout the 1st season. And my 3rd day on set, I went to go to hair and makeup, and I sat down right in between. I had Dean Cain on one side, and I had Helen Slater on the other side. And I'm just sitting in between them. I'm literally sitting in between Superman and Supergirl right now. And it's one of those like moments that you'll just never, I could never forget. And then just the whole experience was just beyond it. For as simple as it was, it's so symbolic in every way to actually have the costume built for me 100% from scratch. So there literally was nothing to start from, and then they built it to my form, and just everything. It was definitely my biggest moment up to that point, like of anything that I could imagine.
That's awesome. I saw that Kristen had a question for you. She said, what was Helen like in Superman?
Oh, Helen was super sweet. She was a little quiet, but Dean Cain, that guy is so charming. He is like what you think of him. That's him. He's just...
Yeah, I've met him twice. He's nice.
Yeah, I mean, and this, we're at work. But Helen was very, she was so proper, I guess you could say. It was, she's just so nice and just as sweet as can be. And both of them were just full of compliments. And both of them just seemed genuinely like just so happy to be there. That's one of the things that, working in Hollywood, I see so many people that, not that they're fake per se, but you see so many people, it just becomes a job at some point. So the enthusiasm isn't really there. And then the cameras roll, then they turn it on, and then they yell cut, and then they go right back to being so grumpy. But with them, it was from the moment you meet them all the way through, just every single moment. There was nothing but positivity and enthusiasm and just smiles, and they just welcome everything because they know how important the whole universe is that they are fortunate enough to be a part of. And that's why you see so much that they just keep coming back. There's something about that, just being a part of that family, that you really do. You feel it from the moment that you get there, and to the way that people treat you, and just forever. And that of course has the trickle down effect with the fandom, with everybody that's on this call right now, or everybody that walks around wearing that. We all kind of know what that means. And to be in that room with, say, Helen and Dean, and just be plopped down right in between them, it's just, it makes you feel like a part of it, and they're just as welcoming as can be, and the appreciation is really there.
Good. So were you a Superman fan before the part came up? I see you got Superman stuff back there.
Oh yeah. I have these 80s pictures of me in my little Superman outfit. I remember my dad and mom, we went to the store, and like I said, middle child of 5, so I was no stranger to hand-me-downs. And so it was always one of those things. And I remember going to the store, and it was the 3rd year in a row that my dad was like, come on, like, don't be Superman again. Like, you outgrew the one outfit, like, change it up. And just not wanting to. It was like, well, why else? And it was right around that time that the Ninja Turtles came out. So if anything took me away from this, being this huge Superman fan, it was because they were, I think I related to that. It felt more of a relationship to them at that age.
Hey, I still have Ninja Turtle action figures from the 80s. So yeah.
Very cool. I was fortunate enough, super small part, but I was a Foot Clan member in the Ninja Turtle movie reboot about, what was that, 4 or 5 years ago? And I remember I shot it on my birthday. And
that's awesome.
I actually had my gun, and I was shooting at the Ninja Turtles. I was like, happy birthday to me. What a fun way to spend my birthday.
Well, I'm going to have to look for you in that. I love that movie. Let's see, what else we got? Okay, you did get to play Superman in the fan film Superman World War. Tell us how you came to be cast in that production, and give our viewers an idea of what the movie is about.
Great, yeah. I went back to St. Louis area. We're actually in the Illinois side a few years, right around the time that Supergirl was done, and I shot a film over there. And it was my first time actually shooting a film in Missouri since I had moved to Los Angeles. And I just got in with the local community there, and just the passion that they have are so amazing. And there was a young gentleman by the name of Donnie Callahan. He was the director of photography on that particular shoot. And I had told him, I said, hey, if you ever want to come out to LA, I'd be happy to show you around. It'd be a good time. So the following summer, him and his father made a trip out to California, and we got to spend a few days together. And I don't remember how much after that it was, but Donald had contacted me and said that he was going to step up and direct a feature film. It was going to be the first time that he had done that, and he had asked me if I was interested in being a part of it. And I told him, hey, if you got a good role for me that you think that I could fit, I absolutely would love to work with you again. And he came back and he said, well, there is a role for you, and you definitely fit it if you want to take on the challenge. And then he told me it was to play the Man of Steel himself. And with that, I of course said, tell me more. I need to know more. How are you going to do it? What story are you going to go with? Because there's a million follow-up questions. And it was pretty cool because he told me, so our movie is called Superman World War. And it takes place during World War II. The bad guys are the Nazis. And it was a story unlike any one that I had known, really. I don't remember Superman taking on the Nazis per se, but it was a fun script. And in it, the multiple bad guys are in it, including Metallo is the big one of the supervillains that Superman takes on. But they decided to go with the World War II era. It's pretty cool. It is so in it is, of course, Clark Kent and Lois Lane. They team up with a war photographer, a photographer provided by the Army. So it's kind of the Jimmy Olsen type character. Instead of being from the Daily Planet, he was working, because Lois and Clark were working for the Daily Planet and then going to cover the war. And then young Private Donnie Callahan, which the name probably sounds familiar because I just said it. That is the director's name. He actually named that after his grandfather, who was a real-life war
Oh, wow.
And I can not confirm or deny if young Private Donnie Callahan in World War II did actually work with Superman, but in our world, they did indeed work together on that one to go fight the Nazis and take on Metallo. So it was, we shot that out a couple years ago. It is available on YouTube to view for free to anybody who would like to watch it. And I am proud and excited to announce that we are going to do a sequel to it.
Yay!
Yeah,
very cool.
We're very well. So we are going to do a sequel, and with the sequel, it's going to be a modern tale. So it is going to be, everybody's going to be aged up. Superman, of course, may be aged at a slightly lesser than everyone else.
Right. He don't age.
Yeah, exactly. So really excited to do that again. The first time it was amazing to get to do not only Superman, but of course Clark Kent, which was something that I did not get to do with the while living in the Supergirl universe. So it was a whole lot of fun. It was great to, as an actor, to be able to be challenged to do something like that, to have not only Clark and Superman, because they are very different people. So even the approach of going about it, I did every bit of research that I could to see what differences some of the greats did, from from Christopher Reeve, with him parting his hair each way whenever he was Clark and Superman. It's those little subtle differences that that we chose to do. I speak in a slightly lower register, so for Superman I may drop it down even more, while for Clark I may bring it up a little bit. So it's those little subtle differences that are great to challenge, not only as an actor but as a stuntman as well. I've been training in stunts for years and years, so to actually, I did 100% of my own stunts in that, and it was really cool. Such a great, passionate team that we got out of the Midwest there, that everybody's a super fan. Shout out to my buddy Charlie, who probably everybody knows around these parts.
Yeah, Charlie.
And he's great. He was the one that did Donnie Callahan proud. And big shout out to Carrie as well, who played Lois. We're all coming back for the sequel.
Cool.
And a little bit of other excitement is that Donnie has been talking about also doing a series of short films to kind of bridge the gap there. So the films it is a direct sequel to part one, but we might also add in some Easter eggs that may or may not contain me, because I am, of course, in Los Angeles. They're all there. So we have to do a lot of our work remotely. We do all of our table reads through Zoom and things like that. And then they do a lot of without me, and then I get all mine done. So it's a tough process, but we got to do what we got to do, and I'm really happy with everything that we've done thus far.
Awesome. Well, I know you're doing, are on Future Man. So how did you get your role on Future Man? And can you tell us a fun story from the set?
Oh, sure. Yes. Future Man. Now, I'm a big Seth Rogen fan. It's just, I love comedies. I just love what him and his team have done for years now. And I was following Seth's career, as he is much like myself in the sense that he's also does the producing and he does more of the writing, which I had not realized at first. And in Hollywood, it's such a tough game to just go out and audition and rely on the parts to come to you, and just auditioning with 100 other guys that look just like you. That it's all a matter of luck. Whereas if you create your own projects, write projects for yourself, that's whenever you're really taking the power into your own hands. And that's something that Seth did as a young man. I think he said he wrote Superbad when he was like 14 years old or something. And it's
right, yeah.
Movie, and he wrote that when he was 14.
I love him.
So I looked up and I saw he was doing another show on another comic series called Preacher, which if anybody has not seen Preacher,
yeah,
super cool show. And I saw he was producing that, and he was producing another project called Future Man. And it was just kind of something like Future Man. I don't know what that is. Like, we always hear about all these projects in production in Hollywood, and it was just, I kind of forgot about it. And then about a year later, I get an audition for a show called Future Man. I go, that sounds familiar. And I looked it up on IMDb, and I was like, oh, this is the one Seth Rogen is doing. Like, how cool is that? So I worked my butt off to prepare for the audition, went in, and inevitably booked the part. It started off, it was supposed to just be a day player, which is somebody comes in for one day, one little co-star, and then one episode, and they see you, and then you're gone as fast as you're there. And the writers either saw something in me or something. We all got along great, and then they just kept writing me into the show.
Awesome.
And, fortunate enough to do three seasons of it. I was one. Whenever you look at the poster for Future Man, there's the 3 main people in the show, and then they were in every season. And I was only the 4th guy that was in every season. So it was a complete compliment that they kept bringing me back. And to anybody who has not seen it, it's a pretty raunchy show. So it's but there's some adult stuff in it. And the funniest one, the scene that people remember the most is, I hope I'm not crossing any lines here. I think we could all be adults here. But so there was a scene where my character Blaze and the lead character Wolf were like best friends. And in it, we get into drugs. And we just... with I don't know, I don't do drugs, but apparently if you do cocaine through your nose, eventually it stops working. So it's where we have to come up with different ways that you smoke. Well, the joke is that back in the day, Stevie Nicks used to put it in her butts. Like it's like one of these kids like butt chug or something. Apparently, so that was the joke, is that we were doing that. So on set, I'm the guy that's actually taking it, putting it in a straw, and then blowing it into his butt. And so for the camera angle, they gave 2 straws. There was 2 straws. It was a red and a green. So I know whenever I do this, I'm going to put my lips on the red and then the green. Because I wasn't touching his brown eye, but I was actually poking him in the bare butt with the straw, so he knew like when to react, because he's not looking at me. So I would come and do it, and then props would come and take it away from me, and then I would do it again. Well, they switched the straws on me, and they came out, and both ends were green. I was like, wait, is this a new straw? Because I just touched his butt with one, and I like the guy, but I don't want to put my lips back on the straw that I literally just touched his butt. So, and it was something like they kept taking it away from me between every take. And it's pretty funny. If you haven't seen it, it's the fire in the hole. Because I literally fire in the hole and then blow it. And then as soon as we finished shooting that scene, we went back to our trailers, and Josh Hutcherson, as many people know from The Hunger Games, who was the star of the show, he was there, and in it, he has a a prosthetic man region that is part of it. So we get there and he says, "Oh, I had the weirdest day." I'm like, "Oh, you think you had a weird day?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got fitted for a prosthetic." Like, he's like, "I've never, the things that we do sometimes to make the movie magic happen, the behind the scenes stuff that people never." He goes, "I don't know how I feel about that." And we stop and we're like, "Yeah, I had to blow coke up this guy's butt." So I was like, who had, I'm not sure. I think they were both pretty weird days.
Well, that is a great story. That is hilarious. And that is on Netflix or Hulu? Hulu, okay.
Hulu, yeah.
And also you did the Have and Have Nots, which featured John Schneider, Jonathan Kent from Smallville. Tell us about the series and did you get to interact with John much on the show?
Yes, actually, John was my direct co-star for my first full season in it. It was really great working with him. He's of course a legend for many reasons, and I go down to Atlanta. I've shot 3 seasons of that show, and John is funny because he likes to improv, and he also likes to get the last word in whenever you're working. So every scene would end with him. He would always have like the witty comeback. I'm like, and he always leaves me, "Oh man, like, you got me again." Like, "Damn it, John," but then they would yell cut, and he was just the sweetest, nicest guy. I believe he lives in Kentucky these days, and he even like invites people up to his house. He's just as nice as they get, an absolute professional. With that show, they move fast. It is kind of soap opera style, so we move about 20 times as fast as Hollywood moves, and I'm not exaggerating whenever I say that. We'll shoot up to 100 pages in a day, which normally in Hollywood you're more at about 5 pages a day. So it's at a rapid, quick pace. You got to come ready to work, and with John, you always knew he was going to be on it, and of course I had my slight fandom moments with him, and funny because I would drop little Smallville nuggets in there, and it was almost like he would light up at it. I know that he really appreciates being part of, he's Paul Kent.
Do you have a favorite moment
so
with
cool
him?
that then. Well, he fired me multiple times on the show. And then finally the last season. So on the show, the Haves and the Have-Nots, my character is named Leo, and I'm like a private security guard. So in season 1, or the first season I was in, it was season 5. I was his employee. He directly hired me and then fired me constantly because apparently my character's not very good at his job. But I ended up landing on my feet, and by season 7, I came back. And then he comes up, and there's this scene where he's like, "Hey, don't I know you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're that security guard I fired, aren't you?" Because he's just so dominant. His role is he's just so powerful. And then and then it was finally my time where I was finally the one in the power position, because he wanted to get in through the door that I was standing in front of. So I got to do the whole, "Sir, you can't go in because I said so. So you will wait here, and then I'll go see if they want you to come in." And it was pretty funny because then, of course, he's tall too. I did not realize how tall he is.
I didn't know.
I'm not a short guy. I'm 6. So he's on the step below me. So now I'm in the power position. And then, like I said, he likes to get the last thing, and he's the star of the show, so they kind of let him do what he wants. And he steps up on the step and kind of does the big guy thing where he stands over me and talks down at me. I'm like, "Damn it, John, you got me again."
That's great. Now, can you tell us what it was like working with Tyler Perry?
Ooh, Tyler Perry is a machine. Seriously, no. Going down there whenever. From my experiences, I've worked with a lot of big name directors, writers, producers that I've never even seen before. Out here, the term producer is thrown around a lot, but in Tyler Perry's case, he does it all. He's literally the first guy on set. He runs everything. He moves just so smoothly. He knows exactly what he wants. And I think he's hilarious in the regards that he's the one that, he's the director. So he'll sit there and, if you hear moving on, that means great, they got what they wanted and we're going to go do something else. Where he will just like yell it out. So he'll yell suggestions for you to do, and he'll like yell things like, now say this, or now say this. And then he will, even in between setups, he'll read the script, and he does it in all of our voices. So whenever he did me, for anybody who's seen the Medea movies, Medea's, I think it was Medea's brother from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. That was the voice that he gave me whenever he read my lines. He'd be like, he'd be reading, and then it was pretty funny because he knows exactly what he wants, and he knows what all the moving parts are, because there may be 5 of us on the scene, but he knows what everybody's going to do. Yeah, and he does impressions of us all, and apparently he thinks I sound like Medea's brother. So how about that?
You were also the lead in Job Guys as a thug for hire. What is it like going from playing a good guy to a bad guy, and which do you prefer?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, it's the classic, from what I've gathered from most of the research that I've done over the years and all the books that I've read and all the classes that I've taken, is that people prefer to play the villain. It's so much fun to play a bad guy, there's something about tapping into that. And I know that I've also found myself even in Superman, even though I was the Man of Steel, I still got to watch Scott Dunn do Hitler in it. And I was honestly a little jealous. I was like, ooh, he's so menacing. To anybody who has not seen it, just at least watch his scenes. He's just so good. And to watch that, I was like, oh, I'm a little jealous, but at the end of the day, I like being the hero. I like being the good guy. I want to come in. I want to save the day. I want to, win the fight. I want to beat up bad guys, because that's kind of more how I see myself. I always love playing bad guys as well. Don't get me wrong. In fact, the pilot that I just shot last week, spoiler alert, I'm the main bad guy in it, and it is a lot of fun to do that. But yeah, the good guy. I'm still want to do good guys. And in Job Guys, I'm a little bit of both. I'm a thug for hire, but we still try to be likable guys. So that series should be out anytime now on Amazon. It was supposed to have already came out, but Amazon on Amazon Prime, there's kind of they've hit a log jam here with the COVID. Things have been delayed, and the whole world's a little messed up right now, and that includes Amazon programming. But anytime now, I will certainly share the heck out of it whenever Job Guys is fully available, and I hope everybody enjoys it. It was a lot of fun to do. I did that one with my longtime producing partner, Dave Beaudry. He wrote it, and I had my roommate, Brooke Hubbs, direct it. So it's something that we did mostly in our own house. So it's something that I'm super proud of. I'm an executive producer on it as well. So it was kind of my baby there for like a year. It was something I put a lot of hard work into it. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. And I get to kind of be a bad guy and a good guy at the same time, which is, a whole lot of fun.
So besides that, is there anything that you're working on now?
Yes, actually, to anybody who's been following me the last year or so, I really promoted a lot of a movie called 16 Bits, in which I play a character, Wax Waster. It has been so much fun. We did a crowdfund last year. We raised enough money to get to shoot the film. I'm super excited. Thank you to everybody who helped donate, sponsor our film. Couldn't have done it without you, but it was so much fun. And in that one, again, I get to kind of be the bad guy, kind of the good guy as well. It's really blending lines. It's a tale of a video game character come to life, and I am that video game character. So I get to be a larger than life character, and it's just so much fun to do. Hopefully this is one that I get to do sequels for years to come. We're looking at a release date around the end of the year. But if anybody who did not already follow Wax Waster and 16 Bits Movie, we did a whole bunch of promos. We did a whole bunch of skits. We tried to put out a lot of material so that people get to know this character way before the movie. So hopefully y'all enjoy it. And I really hope I get to make it just for years to come. There's certain characters, just like how I got to be Blaze from Superman or from Future Man for several years. I get to reprise my role as Superman again. There's something about these fun characters that you could step away from them for a year or two and then just put it back on. And it's just, it feels so good. Even it was, for the opening of this virtual weekend, I put the shield back on, and it felt so amazing. It was like, you get like chills, and it was just looking at myself in the mirror again. Like, there's just something about that. It's just something about bringing it back that I just want to do it forever. I want to entertain. I want to make people laugh, cry, smile, whatever it is. That's what I love to do. And I just am so appreciative that I get to do it in so many capacities, whether it's on the small screen, on people watching me on their phones, or hopefully one day we'll be on, the big screen more often. But it's every one of them are super cool, and very appreciative that I get to do what I do.
Awesome. Now, I know there's a bunch of people that are big fans of certain celebrities. Is there anybody that you're a big fan of and just would have like an awe moment if you met them?
Well, I'm not sure if you could see, but I got my boy up here. Mr. Arnold Schwarzenegger is my dude, and this was so I ran into him. I was working an event several years ago, because I do big events, whether it's security or bartending, whatever I could do. It's one of my part-time jobs, and Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up. And growing up, Arnold was the guy that I wanted to be. It's one of the reasons why I'm in the movies. It's just the big action movies. One of the reasons why I work out, I want to be Arnold. And several years back, he showed up at this party. And it was kind of funny because where he was standing, there was like 10 feet open behind him, but like a foot and a half in front of him. So I walked past him the first time, and I just kind of brushed up against him. Like, as a worker, we're not saying anything to people, but I like to touch the celebrities, even if it's like grazing by the arms. I don't know, whatever. So I walk by and I give them the brush, and I go by, and I'm like, oh, that was cool. And it's like, now I'm like, ooh, now I want more. So I walked past him, and he's turned sideways. And as I did it, I put my hand on his arm, and I did the whole, as I'm walking by, and did, oh, excuse me, sir. As I moved by, I gave it a little squeeze. He's got to know, right? He's got to know this guy just copped a feel on my bicep. Help it, It's when will I have that opportunity?
Hey, I probably wouldn't pass that up either. Just saying.
Right. And if I see him again, I'll do it again.
Right.
Hopefully next time I will not be at work, and I'll actually be able to humbly tell him, just what I think of him. But there's a couple, certainly a couple others that have been kind of the awe moments that I've been lucky enough to have. It was during a table read for the show Future Man. Seth Rogen was there because he was a producer on the show, and he was sitting in the audience because during table reads they kind of set it up like there's like an audience and it's like a panel, and up top there was of course the actors are up there, and I read one of my lines and I heard Seth's laugh from the crowd, and it was like it really tickled me. And it was like one of those like I got him to laugh. I got him to do the iconic laugh.
That's great. I always like to know, do you collect anything, and what is your favorite piece of your collection?
Oh, yes. Well, of course, there is the superhero memorabilia. I will go ahead and include a couple of these. This is really off of Christopher Reeve's Superman 4. It may have been costume number 9. The costume may not have been worn. I could not get it authenticated as if it was actually, but it was actually from Warner Brothers, an official one. And then because I have the Superman, of course I have to balance that out with the Batman. Now this
Oh,
one,
wow.
this is out of the chest of George Clooney's Batman. And
That is
again,
cool. That is cool.
I had a good friend of mine who who's the best gift giver in the world, but I was in talks to play a Batman type character in something well before I was Superman, and I kind of thought that I would have gravitated more to a darker superhero, whether it was the Punisher or Venom or Batman. And whenever I did that, he gifted this to me. He had it for years, and he said he just didn't appreciate it. And then I think that's something about collecting things, is that you have to appreciate what we collect, which we do as, of course, as super fans. We really appreciate everything that what it means. It's not that it's trash to anybody, but the whole one person's trash is another person's treasure.
That is true.
And I kind of live in that if there's something that means so much to somebody, I like giving gifts as much as receiving whenever it really truly means something to somebody. And there's only been a few things in my life that somebody has given me, and like that one was one of those ones.
That's a pretty sweet gift. We know fitness is a big part of your career. So what's your fitness routine like?
Oh, the fitness routine. Well, about 25 years ago, I started lifting weights and I never stopped. But no, in all seriousness, it's been something that's always been just a part of me. I was a bigger kid growing up, and I didn't like being the fat kid, really, to be honest with you. And obesity does run in my family, so it was something I was always wary of. And my dad taught me how to train, starting all the way back when I was about 14 years old. And he bought me my first weight set, I think when I was 16, that I still use to this day. I still have the dumbbells. And I was an avid gym goer for many years. I've been a marathon runner. I've been a physique competitor, a little bit of everything over the years. The most important thing with fitness is find something that you enjoy doing. Everybody needs to be active in some capacity. Some people hate to lift weights. Some people can't dance. Some people enjoy playing basketball. Whatever it is, don't do something if you don't like it. And for me, I'm just lucky enough that I enjoy lifting weights. I enjoy running. I like to stay fit because it lets me kind of do almost anything that I truly want to do. It's helped me so much in my career as far as being able to do stunts and just being capable of things. I've run marathons all over North America. I've climbed mountains, and there's something about that payoff that is just, to me, it makes it all worth it. And the last few months have been pretty tough, given that no gyms are open. It's hard to go from having every piece of equipment. Now you're just this, it'd be like somebody, the average person, like taking their smartphone away from them and handing them a pencil and paper. You're like, oh, this isn't going to do what the smartphone did. It's tough to have all those tools then taken away, but I've been able to keep up with it very well. I am a fitness model and athlete for Beachbody. Anybody who's not familiar with Beachbody, you probably are familiar, just don't realize it. Most of us know of P90X and Insanity from the old infomercials. And now it's a great system. It's all online. It's all on demand. It's like Netflix. It's $8 a month. You get 85 different programs, and no more DVDs, no more of that. Super cheap. It's a fraction of the gym, and it's all in your own home. So I've gone all in on that lately. I was in a program called 6 Weeks of the Work, which is the super trainer on that. He usually trains professional athletes. So just to be able to have the opportunity to work out with a guy like that and just train every day, it really was a game changer. And then now that there is no gyms, I just press play on my computer and do it in my living room. So if anybody's into Beachbody, hit me up. If you don't feel like you have enough time to work out, be active. Everybody should at least have 20 minutes in their daytime of wiggle room to stay active. So I certainly hope that everybody does, no matter, like I said, whatever that is to you, if it's walking your dog or you know, just going out for a hike, or, you know, throwing around the ball with your kids, whatever it is. I hope that everybody stays active, because you'll be very grateful that you did. And I'm getting up there in age. And I could absolutely run circles around the person that I was, even whenever I was in the Marine Corps at 20 years old. I am in far superior just activity level than I was then. Most of it draws back to the way that I take care of my body and the diet and what I put in. But I love it. You know, I mean, me personally, I truly enjoy it. I've done it for years, and there's just something about the whole fitness game that has been a true passion of mine, and it's really crossed over into everything else that I do. I put in the hard work at the gym and the this and the that. I'm never lazy whenever it comes to anything. So whenever I do get to work or on set or whatever it is that I'm doing, I could, if we're filming, sometimes filming is 16-hour days, and you're not going to wear me down. I want to be able to do it all day long. So for somebody who's not active, people that get tired easily, a lot of times it's because you're not active enough. People say, I can't work out because I'm tired, whenever in essence, it's typically you were tired because you didn't work out. It's something that super passionate about. And again, if anybody ever needs any motivation, any advice, anything whatsoever, feel free, hit me up. Please follow me. It's Kevin Caliber on everything. I try to help motivate and stay positive as much as I can. I try to just not do, you know, I don't do gym selfies. I'm not one of those people. It's just about embarking the entire lifestyle of it and doing it not just for you, but for your loved ones, so that you can run around with your grandkids whenever you're that age, so that there's no stopping you. You're not going to get winded going up the stairs or anything like that. And just being part of a good community. And that's another good thing about Beachbody, is that they have a great online community. To help.
Sorry, it froze on my side. I apologize for that. Well, that is all the questions I have, so I'm gonna leave it over to Kelly. I have a game night with my family, so they've been sitting here listening and waiting for game night. So, but Kevin, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sassy, tell your
Yeah,
family.
thanks so much,
They
Sassy.
can hear you. They say thank you.
So Kevin, mom says.
My mom says hi, Kevin.
Oh, hey, I remember her.
Hi, Kevin.
I give her a big hug too.
Yeah.
Hugs back to you.
She says hugs back. All right. Well, it's a pleasure speaking with you. So I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to hand it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Sassy.
All right. Bye.
All right, Kevin. Kristen's question was, how did you first get into Superman? Like, how did you discover him?
Oh, the original, way back in the 80s. I was just that wee young lad that watching cartoons and all that. And I actually remember the black and white Superman TV show. Nick at Night was a big thing. And many of us remember the old Nick at Night. I remember George Reeves, and I remember my dad telling me the stories about him. And it's just something that was, as a young child, like I said, I looked up to guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I looked up to just the super masculine, larger than life characters, and Superman was just the epitome of that. It really, truly was just, whenever I think about what a manly man was, it was a guy who would wear a suit to work, and then of course could do anything physically to help anybody. He's the strongest guy. It's just, that was always what I what I thought of as a man. It was actually is, and I guess it makes sense why it's Superman. It literally is just the most elite version of what a man should be. Just standing up for good, looking good in a suit, and then looking great. Great body and ready to attack anything.
That makes sense. And then Doug's question, and I see Donnie Callahan's on here, so he might be able to answer too. Doug was asking, what's the chance of you guys zooming the table read for your Superman sequel, the way the rest of the cast of Chuck did for charity? So perhaps a Metropolis-based charity.
Ooh, that is a question for Mr. Donald Callahan. I'm not allowed to speak on the part. This is his baby, his project. I am lucky enough to be the Man of Steel, but he is the writer, the director, everything else. All those types of shots go to him. But I think that after we have the script in a place that it would be, I would not be opposed to it, because I know that I love reading scripts before they come out as well. It's there's a visualization to it that's a lot of fun. So if we were to maybe open it up to super fans, or maybe we've even discussed different perks along the way that we could, because we're going to have to do a crowdfund for this
Right.
as well, because I mean these films it's expensive to make, and because it's a fan film, we're not making any monetary. I mean, we're just doing it for the passion and the fun of it. But whenever we're paying so much time and effort and actually opening up our wallets to pay for things, it gets to be a thing. So I know that it's something that me and Donnie have talked about, ways that we can raise money. We would love to be able to hide Easter eggs from any of the super fans out there. If anybody was to say, donate, maybe we could name a character after you. Maybe we could, if anybody who's in the St. Louis area, you could drop by and do a cameo in the film. If there's, we do these different types of perks to make everybody feel involved. Great idea, Doug. I really appreciate the suggestion. And with that being said, I hope Donnie doesn't just say, absolutely not. But if that's the case, Doug, we'll send you just a personal link just for you then in that case.
And then this one's from MF and Batman. He says to tell us about the 16 Bits movie and then breakout star Jose Alvarez, who plays Shaw. So I'm guessing that is Jose Alvarez.
Jose's great. You know what? Jose's in the movie before I am. So 16 Bits, a lot of fun. Like I said, it's about a guy whose 40th birthday, all he wants to do is play video games and eat pizza with his friends. But his friends are jerks, and they say that they don't want to have a 12-year-old birthday party. They're all 40. So they blow him off. But luckily for him, his best friend in the world, who is his favorite character in the video game, comes out of the game and then comes and gives him a birthday he will never forget. And whenever it starts off, you see the title, or the main character, Philip. You see him, and then you get to meet his neighbor, who is played by an amazing actor, Jose.
I'm sold. So where can we watch that movie?
The one should be out by the end of the year. We do not have our distribution set yet. Very, very, very worst case scenario is it will be available on Amazon. That will be pretty much the floor. Hopefully we will be across so many other platforms. It'd be great if it was to go to, say, a Netflix, or obviously like an HBO, something like that. It will not be a theatrical release. We'll show it in probably 2 screens, I think. It'll probably be shown 1 theater in Los Angeles, and I am going to go back to St. Louis, Missouri to do a screening there for the St. Louis people. I have a couple local actors and that are from Missouri that are part of this movie as well. So super excited to share that with them, and of course my friends and family from my hometown. I can't wait to celebrate it. Hopefully it'll be right around Halloween. We're working as fast as we can to get this movie made. With the COVID, it did delay some things. We weren't allowed to go back and film again, but we're able to piece things together, and we're editing it as fast as we can. So hopefully 16 Bits this fall into the winter, everybody will get to see, meet, and know Wax Waster.
I'm excited for it. I know I'm following it on Facebook, so. that's
Thank you much.
exciting.
Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. So, obviously you've gotten to play Superman, so, you know, it doesn't get much better than that. But if you could pick like any dream role, you know, whether it's an existing character, or just a type of character, what would be your dream role?
Well, I've actually given that a lot of thought over the years, and from any one particular character from any certain project, it was actually another one that my boy Arnold played, was the role of Harry Tasker from the movie True Lies. He gets to do this super cool thing where he was a spy, so he's James Bond over here, just the baddest dude in the room, while over here he was Family Man. That was the one he was married to Jamie Lee Curtis in, and so it was a whole lot of fun to be able to play both sides. I love being the idea of a leading man, of being a family man. I want to be the hero next door, just the guy that might live on your block, and that's really the role that I have tried to take on kind of in real life as well. Hence me joining the Marine Corps and just trying to live that up. But James Bond is just so cool, and the problem with James Bond, well, one, they'll never hire a American actor. They said that it's got to be a British actor, or the only ones that will ever play James Bond. So you know, screw James Bond. I'll be American James Bond, and that seemed like just so cool. But I really want to do a sports movie as well. I would love to do that before I get too old to do it. Whether no matter what it is, I've read a couple scripts over the years. One was a boxer, one was a football player, and nothing that's really came to any fruition. But I absolutely would love to play a sports movie. They were the movies that captivated me as a kid. Whether it was kids playing baseball and something like The Sandlot, or you know, hardcore dramas, my Any Given Sunday and the program in the football world, but you know, Rocky, of course, like the underdog, the true underdog tale. I would love to play something in that realm that gets to challenge me both physically, because I do work out a lot, and it's, you know, what's this for? You know, let me show it off. And like I said way earlier, one of my first dreams was to be a professional athlete, and well, I think the ship has sailed on me being a professional athlete, but I could totally be one in a movie.
What type of sport would you want to be a professional athlete for?
Well, I absolutely loved baseball growing up. That was my favorite. Being from St. Louis, we were St. Louis Cardinals fans, even like, you know, even right here, St. Louis Cardinals. And so baseball was always my number one. And then I was always a little undersized for basketball and football. But there's also something too about the fighting movies, whether it was you know, The Fighter and Warrior, and of course Rocky, and then now into the Creed films. Like, even if I could have been the bad guy in the last Creed that he fought, just something like that, to even be able to perform on a stage like that. And like I said, it's all about, like, what are you getting in shape for? I used to run marathons, because otherwise what am I running for? I like running, but if I have that goal. And then I liked lifting weights, but I started competing because it gave me that final thing. Like, I know on Memorial Day I got to look my best. And with something like that, I think it would just be fun to go through that type of grueling process. Maybe if it was as a boxer, to actually learn how to properly box for the role. Or you know, I've also been thinking about just straight up being a bodybuilder as well. I've got a couple script ideas that would make me, because that's a world that I already kind of live in the fitness world. But that was another one that I was considering, of being a guy trying to be a professional bodybuilder. Then I wouldn't have to get punched in the face either, like if I was a boxing movie.
There you go. Got to protect the money maker.
Right.
Kristen put it in a poll for you. Yeah, sure.
So I can get over
See that. So do you have any more fun on-set stories from any of your recent projects?
Oh, sure, I got a million. So even whenever we did Superman, it was pretty funny because I'm talking about the physicality and how fun it
Oh,
is.
gosh.
What was that?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, no, I said narrow it down.
okay, yeah, all right. Sorry, yeah, there's a little bit of a delay. You're breaking up a little bit on me. But so whenever I was doing Superman, was, yeah, whenever I was doing Superman, it was pretty funny because like when I talk about how hard it is sometimes to train for a role, and I personally like getting in shape for roles. Whenever I did Superman, I put on between 10 and 15 pounds. I got up over 200 pounds for the first time in over a decade because I wanted to do it justice. You know, I was not wearing a padded suit like some of the other guys do, and it was just me and some thin, you know, nylon or whatever it was. And it was like day one of the actual fight, and something happened, and wearing costume boots, and you know, it's a costume. And I turned, and it was like the first thing, I turned and rolled my ankle, like right out of the gate. It was like, all right, well, not my ankle. Now I'm gonna be limping around. Now I'm gonna be Superman that's got a little bit of a gimp to him, and I was like, that's not cool. So we're constantly trying to figure out ways of being safe, of course. And we did have a stunt coordinator on set for the most part, but it's just one of those. And I remember I really wanted to get this one scene where I'm falling, but I didn't want it to look fake. So I'm falling, I'm bouncing my head off the floor, and there was another scene where I fell face down where I'm Clark in the film. Whenever Clark gets shot and then he falls down. Well, I kind of forget that I'm wearing the Clark Kent glasses, and as I did it, I didn't compensate enough for it, so as my head dropped, I hit the glasses right into my face. And I just remember standing up and like walking around and like trying to shake it. I was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Like, yeah, fine. Just let me be mad for a minute. But it could be way worse. At the end of the day, hey, I have a great job, and if twisting my ankle, it just it comes with the territory. So it could be a whole lot worse.
True. So how did you get into the stunt business? Like, how do you even prepare for that also?
Stunts are a funny thing. They're mostly on-job training. Whenever I first moved to Hollywood, I tried to, you know what they say, try to get in with anybody that you can, networking, like-minded people. So for me, I had the Marine Corps in my background. So I initially joined a group that was called the VFT. It was Veterans in Film and Television. So I got together and met all these old, just hardcore, just old, military veterans. And it's funny because I like to think of myself as like a pretty tough guy, like I'm a good old boy from Missouri, and I was in the Marine Corps, and I'm a tough guy. But compared to these guys, I'm actually kind of wimpy, and I'm actually kind of soft. I'm a little metrosexual. I put on skin cream, and I take care of myself. Where these guys are like the big, still got the big chaw chewing tobacco, and everybody's like just these rough, rugged guys. They're all, and they were all the stunt community. Every one of these guys has broken bones and this and that, and I'm looking at it like, well, I don't know if I want to do all that, but I would like to be able to do my own stunts. So I got in with them, and then there was a subgroup of that called Combat Casting. And Combat Casting is a group of all military veterans that do work on films, because instead of teaching actors how to hold weapons and know the lingo and what this and these things mean, why not just hire veterans? Why not hire people that have seen combat and know how to do everything? So I got in with them, and once I became part of Combat Casting, I was so fortunate enough, because that's right whenever the Marvel boom was hitting. So that got me in. I was in, I did stunts in in Thor Part 2. I did Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which was, for my money, the best Marvel film up to that point. I did Ninja Turtles that I talked about earlier. I did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it got me in all these super cool movies. And then I realized that on these big sets, they're so safe, they're so careful, everybody is so taken care of. And then there's another side of Hollywood, which is not the $200 million budgets, not even the $1 million budgets, but they're the movies that people are trying to make on $20. And I got on one of those sets, and I was hired as a soldier. And this was my first ever, I remember it was my first ever IMDb credit. I thought it was so cool. And in it, it was a movie called Jurassic City, and it was a B movie version. So it was basically a bad version of Jurassic Park. And in it, there's these digital velociraptors that we never saw them. You see them and you look scared, and it's like the classic movie making. And I'm on this pool side, and I wish I could just cue up the scene so you guys can see it, but I'm on this pool side, and the velociraptor comes out of the pool and eats me, or I don't know, thrashes me, whatever. So as I'm doing it, we do it from one angle where the camera's sitting down low, and all I had to do was just kind of throw myself. Well, for that one, we put out the mat. So I'm just throwing myself onto this mat. And then they put the camera on the other side of the pool. Now it's the wide shot. Now you can't have a mat there because it will be on the screen. So I go to do it once, and I kind of do this like slow motion fall back, very gingerly lay myself on my back. And they're like, what was that? You can't do that. You got to actually you got to do the stunt. You got to throw yourself. And I turn around, and this is a brick staircase. And it's just leading up to this patio. I was like, I can't just throw myself down these brick stairs. Like, well, you have to. Like, that's what it is. No pads, no nothing. I went and I found a piece of carpet pad that was, I don't know, it might have been in the trash. It was on like the side of this house. And I took it and I tucked it in my waist, in my belt, so I'm at least protecting my tailbone. Because I know if I'm going to fall onto some bricks, I'm not going to break my back now. So I tucked it into my tailbone, and I went ahead and I took the fall. And I gave him one. I said, you can have one. And yeah, it was not fun. So hats off to stuntman. Whenever you see stunts in movies where we're like, oh, it's fine, they're a trained stuntman. Or if you're watching like professional wrestling and you see them do something, you're like, they're trained for that. It still hurts. Bones will still break. I did one, so I went to stunt school. I've gone to 2 different stunt schools. One of them was called XMA, it's Extreme Martial Arts. And then the other one was the Academy for Theatrical Combat. And with those, I'm doing this one stunt class, and we're just, with the way that the cameras look, it's real easy to, you have to manipulate. Like if I'm gonna punch, I could just turn my head. Like I wasn't close to my face, but it kind of, but whenever the camera is here, now you gotta kind of, it's an angle thing. So we're learning angles, and we're in class, and I felt so bad. As we're doing a stunt, I go to throw a punch, and this guy kind of leans into it right as I do it instead of leaning away. And I caught him just enough that it was like the big knuckle right on his tooth, and it put a hole in his face and a hole in my hand. And it doesn't take much. I mean, it was just in like half speed, just like that. But it doesn't take much whenever you hit somebody in the right spot. And that was, to this point, the worst injury that I've ever sustained doing stunts. But because I'm Mr. Macho, tough guy, Marine veteran, good old boy from Missouri, my hand is completely split open. And I just super glued it shut. I was like, that's what you do with that, right? So I super glued it shut, which is actually fun. I actually have a video of myself super gluing it shut. And I even glued a Q-tip to my hand, so I was trying to use a Q-tip, and you can't do it. Super glue dries really fast. So I have, so I glue it shut, And then the next day, it's a little swollen, not bad. I'm like, yeah, of course it's swollen. I punched somebody in the teeth. And then by like 3 days later, I couldn't move my fingers anymore. And finally, Mr. Tough Guy finally went to the hospital. And they were like, yeah, you have a really bad infection of your hand because the tooth is so dirty that whenever it busted the skin, now I have all those germs inside of my skin. So my hand was like a boxing glove, and it was like a red color. I remember they drew a line to how far the inspection, because if the red went past the line, that means the infection's spreading, and then now I'm at risk of them having to amputate, which, I mean, like, no thank you. I'd rather keep my hand. So yeah, so it was taking shots, taking all the antibiotics.
What are you talking about?
I got put on bed rest. It was a whole thing, but I still got my hand. So hey, even though we're stunts and we're all trained, you still get hurt. You still got to be careful. Something, the most minor thing, can cause something that could really stumble. So it was one of those moments where I'm like, am I sure this is what I want to do? And then of course cameras roll, and then we start. And you're like, yeah, that's.
I think more of the story is that no one should let you give them first aid.
It's a good rule of thumb. Don't try to be tough. Not always
That's
good
a
thing to
good
be tough.
moral too. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm looking at the chat. I mean, I am highly enjoying your stories, Kevin. Do you have any more stories you want to share?
I was say, yeah, hold on. Actually,
Do you have any
let me see if I can think of another one. I have I started a list of like stories that like I thought are funny.
Okay, good. Yeah, sorry to just like put you on the spot without asking.
No worries. Yeah, I haven't had the stunt class infection. Oh yeah, so I forgot there was another little part to that story. So the guy that I hit, I took him to the hospital. He went and got stitches, and I said, hey man, if there's anything I could do for you, please let me know. And he came back at me with a while later, and he had his hospital bills. And just for the sake of round numbers, I think it was like $2,000. I said, okay, hey, I'm really sorry. I'll bite the bullet. I'll pay half of it. I really apologize. I'll take half responsibility. We were both doing it. And he basically said, no, you're going to pay the whole thing. And I was like, oh, but see, I went to the hospital too. I have like $500 in bills. I'll pay half yours and all of mine. And he's like, no, you're going to pay all of mine or I'm going to sue you, basically. And I said, we're in stunt class, right? Like, that was part of the choreography. Like, I'm doing exactly what they're teaching us. And it was a real shame because I liked the guy. He was a nice guy. But I told him, I said, the school has insurance. We signed liability waivers saying that, I signed a waiver. Like, I'm not suing you for my hand. And it was a shame that after all that he was really pressing on me paying everything. And then after getting some legal advice, I withdrew my claim to give him anything. I was like, I'm officially taking that offer off the table, which is unfortunate. Like, I didn't want to pay him $1,000. Like, I don't know, do an insurance claim with the word. But yeah, it was a real shame that it got to that. But yeah, that's why I stopped going to that school, actually. Yeah. It was a bit of a shame. I guess I wasn't extreme because I was the extreme school. These guys were like these guys are the trainers that do all like the crazy flips and all the tricking and all that. And I couldn't do that. I just, let me glue my feet to the floor and let me throw some punches. I'll be okay.
It was nice of you to offer though. Like, it's a shame that he.
Yeah, so with that, I did write an email saying I officially withdraw my offer to pay half because then I didn't want him to use it in court against me. that I did, because I did have an offer in writing, I will pay half. So I took it back, and that's been like 2 or 3 years now, and I never heard anything. She's like, fine, I'll see you in court, and I'm going to sue you for a whole lot more than what that was. You're going to regret this. And, well, I haven't seen anything. So, you know, knock on wood, that I don't then get a lawsuit then held against me. But, yeah, let me go ahead. I'll give another couple of funny little tidbits that I enjoyed. So, whenever I did my, like I said, I'm a fitness model and an athlete doing workout videos, and I've been doing those for years. Now I pretty much just do them for Beachbody, but before I did them for a program called The Daily Burn. And the super trainer on that one, his name's Bob Harper, which anybody who used to watch Extreme Home Makeover, no, I'm sorry, Biggest Loser. He was on The Biggest Loser. He was the super trainer, and I just always found him so inspiring, and he changed lives, and I always looked up to him as a fitness trainer. And so I got to meet him and work with him, and we did the very first rehearsal, and we're doing a camera rehearsal, and as they go through, they're like, he comes out and he's like, hey, everybody, we're going to have a great workout here. Backing me up is, and he's like, this person and this person. And he goes to the one girl, and the one girl who, you know, she's a girl, so she gets to, and she goes like, hi. And then they come over to me, and I don't know why. They're like, and over here, we got Kevin. And I go, hey. What? Did I just two-hand jazz hand wave and go, hey? Thank God it was a rehearsal, because I was thrown off. Like, I should have been expected to be introduced. I don't know, but I felt like I got put on the spot. Like, am I going to crumble under pressure that whenever I now get put on the spot, this is going to be my default? So the next one, I'm totally like overcompensated, and they're like, and we got so-and-so, and we got Kevin over here. I'm like, sup?
Oh, here comes my daughter. Hi, Isabel.
Nice angle.
Right, yep.
I like your color of the shirt.
Nice color, right? She doesn't care if you all see her butt. She's just got to cuddle mama. Yeah, you've got an appropriate color for this weekend. Total coincidence.
That's right.
You guys match.
That's right. It looks good.
And she's got her.
Before I jump on, I know we're getting to be about that time. I wanted to say hi and thanks again to everybody. It was an absolute pleasure. I did, of course, get to meet so many people in person 2 years ago at the big 40th Fest, which is still something that is, you know, absolutely near and dear to my heart. It was so much fun getting to do that. The super fans and friends are unlike any other. Just the love that I truly feel from everybody, the passion. I absolutely cannot get enough of it. I can't wait to be back, do it again. To everybody that I meet along the way that I've gotten the chance to meet and follow virtually, not only this weekend, but in the last several years, even the years before I was ever part of the Superman Celebration. Just want to thank everybody else for joining in and having an interest in me and listening to me talk. I'm love doing that. And again, if anybody ever wants to connect with me on a personal level, I'm not that hard to get a hold of. You can find me Kevin Caliber Thompson on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Kevin Caliber. Please follow me, follow my projects, Job Guys, Wax Waster, 16 Bits. Of course, my bigger projects that I'm just in, that's your Future Man, you're the haves and the have-nots. Lots of really good stuff that I'm super proud of, that I love to share with you. And again, I love and appreciate every bit of support that I get from everybody. Could not ask for a better, just more positive group to be associated with. So thanks again to everybody for having me, and I hope everybody is having a great virtual weekend. I'm loving all the panels that I'm getting to see. I love that everybody still gets to come together. So please stay safe, stay healthy during the COVID, during even this the social justice that we are going through. we are all only individuals, but together we're stronger than anybody can imagine. So let's get some equality out there for everybody. If there's anything that anybody could do, just be safe out there. If you're going to protest, please do it peacefully. Don't go into the rioting and looting and all that crazy stuff. But we all are allowed to protest. We have freedom of speech. We're allowed to have our voices heard. So please, everybody, do what you can to be positive, stay safe, stay healthy, stay active. You know, we want to have a great world for our children and our grandchildren. So that's everything that we do will carry on for years to come. So please just continue to fight the good fight. Have that little Superman in us all. Just let him be strong. Let him fly. Let him be proud. And just, yeah, have a great weekend. I absolutely love you all.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate all you've done for us this weekend. You're so sweet.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And good seeing everybody's pictures pop up over here. I love it. Everybody that's on the Zoom right now. Seeing Brandon and Kristen and Browncoat, all you guys, to Doug, to Donnie, everybody that jumped in. Seriously. Love you all. Can't wait to see you all in person next time.
Thanks, Kevin.
You want to say hi to Kristen? Look. That's my friend Kristen.
Yeah, I'm not Kelly, I'm Kristen.
Can you say hi?
I love the Wonder Woman hat, Kristen. Can't wait to see 84 come out.
October.
Yeah, these are some of Mama's friends. Yeah.
All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. We'll see you at the other panels, all right?
Thanks, Kevin. Have a great night.
Bye, guys.